I just sit on my hands and wait for my prey, and when it comes, I kill it in a very cruel way. Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Next Gen Traders YouTube channel. As you can see today, it's only me. Unfortunately, nobody could make it, so it's going to be a pretty short episode. But I will go over the same steps. I'll go over my week, my trades, the OTC market only this time, and then I'll just briefly talk about some key points in the kind of open discussion, even though it's only me. So it's gonna be pretty short, but hopefully for the next one everyone makes it, because next one's gonna be our yearly recap, so it will be pretty long. So this is like really my hope that everyone, I don't promise everyone can make it, but I mean I will 100%. So we'll see. We'll try to get as many people as possible. So this week for me was my best week ever, and it's kind of sad that nobody's here, but whatever. I will talk about it in the next one too. So I had my best trade ever, and this is ironical because in the last one, me and Lance were talking about it, how I said that I wanted to make my best trade ever, and then I said that it's likely not going to happen, like in the next 2 weeks. And then Lance said that it will likely happen, and I will put the clip right now. So my mind literally tells me you have 2 weeks to make your best trade ever, but I'm not doing it. So I'm just, I just had to say that because I don't want to. Well, it probably will, but I don't want to say that my best trade was the trade I literally chased at the top and then gap the next day.
Well, it's probably going to happen in the next 2 weeks. Obviously, you're not going to hypothesize, but it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because literally if I took one of those breakouts, that would have been my best trade already.
Yeah, use a $30 risk and
yeah,
you'll be good.
It's like five. Well, so that was 165, so I have to have $30 risk and make like $6. Well,
that's doable. You can do that.
We'll see.
We'll see.
So you saw how this all like line up perfectly, and literally the next day on Monday and Tuesday, I had my best trade ever. But I mean, again, I didn't force it or anything. As I always say, my best trades come from the trades I didn't expect to do best. So same thing happened here. I followed my process to a T, and I focused on the best and didn't force anything. I had only 2 trades, 2 wins. So I mean, that's all I need for the year, for the month, basically, because I mean I don't need to trade anymore right now. So now for the OTCs, I would say OTCs are actually hitting up. Like we see like a decent amount of nice setups, even if they're still not like 2-3 every day, but still there is like very solid ones when you can actually like have like a solid plan on all that, like it works. The breakouts starting to work really nice. So I mean that's still my main pattern right now. So I'm just following the market and reacting on it every day. And now I'll go over my 2 trades and one other trade that I have like started for the next week, have position. So here's my first trade, and this was actually my best trade. This is ABB. I mean, we've talked about this ticker for a while. I had a good trade on it on this day, on the first green day, and then it had this like another downtrend, and I was looking for another first green day. Like I didn't really expect it to go that high. My goal, so I mean, 15-minute chart was also very nice. Like you see here, it actually had this kind of a first green day on Friday, but it was very weird, like something out of nowhere. So I was looking to trade it this day on this little trigger at the open. And then, I mean, the goal was even below this breakout level, because the R already was like 4R before the breakout. So let's see, I'll put the notes here and you will see how I traded this. So my first entry was here at 19, with the risk at 18.5. So 4R would have been 21. So right here, even below this break level. So this was kind of I like in my entry comments, I said that 21 is 4R, but 22 will be like perfect. I probably would have started to sell before this. So, but then when I had this first move, then I had this nice drop and then consolidation here, and I thought about adding, but I didn't really know where to risk, because I didn't really trust this level 19.7, and these lows were just a few weeks, so that didn't really matter. Like it's not a real, it's just 4,000 print right there, like at this low. So it was still kind of early to move, but then I thought about let's keep to 19. Me and my friend who were on the call during all this trade, because we both had the first same entry, and then after that like kind of same everything. So yeah, he suggested moving to 19, I think without him, I would have just wait a little bit more than added here with this risk. So I mean, this was still good that I added before this actual break, because my goal, my plan for adding are always like add when they break some key levels. So this would have been like my add, but then here it looked very good also at 20. And since I moved to 19, I could have added there and then added another time. So I moved to here. This was 5,000 shares, $25 risk. Then I added here 3,000. This was 300 risk, 30 risk. And then I wanted to add here, but I was on my computer, fortunately. So I mean, I was, but I was in a place where I could have like added there because I was eating at that time. And then I added here. The add maybe wasn't the best, but I mean, it's still good to add anywhere, like I don't know, below 21 or something. But it was still a good add, and I moved my risk here. And here I had 12,000 shares, so that was my biggest dollar position ever. I had like $2,300 position. It was my best by far, and I was risking just $6. Imagine risking $6 on a $2,000 position. I could have added more and risked 30, but I just didn't have enough cash to settle. So this was a very like those ads were so good. Like I was just feeling the stock. I just felt this price action. And also you see every time after my every ad on entry, I've never been down on the stock, like never, and it didn't even go close to my risk, like never. You see, never touched my risk. Then I was consolidating here, and then this high day break I thought would explode, but didn't. So it still held. Like every time we have higher lows. I mean, and then here it started to really move. And here Team Sachs bought, unfortunately, or turned out to be even better. And I already wanted like even without it, I wanted to sell before the break level, because I mean my plan was to sell before the break level because I was like 4 hour, but here I knew it was more than 4 hour with all these ads. I didn't really know my R at that point, but I knew it was like somewhere around 5. It turned out to be 7, 8. So I sold here. So it was a perfect sell. It was down here. Perfect sell 27, 8 right before the breakout. But then this sell wasn't good because, so I always say you have to sell before the breakout or after it runs nicely. So I should have sold like this should be my second sell. But I mean, still solid because the R was huge. I knew that, and I didn't want to hold because of Sykes. I mean, I think I should now start to sometimes also hold because the pattern was just so good. So then I sold half here, then fourth here, and then I wanted to sell my other fourth here, just lock in, but unfortunately didn't get filled. Fortunately, but then turned out to be fortunately. Now I was kind of like sad that I didn't sell, but I mean it turned out to be better because it had this nice morning spike, then the drop, and then I mean I just held I had my best patience in this trade ever. I held this, and then we went because of my risk here was like it didn't have a clear risk, but I was like, if it goes to 21, then I probably would cut, because if it went to 22 and then bounce, that would be perfect. So I sold here and then into the next push here. I knew that the 20, like I had that 28.6 break level on the back of my mind, this breakout, but I thought I would play it like in a separate trade, but I mean, I sold all here, locked in my trade, and then I didn't play the next time here. But I mean, it's still good because I was saying that I already took my giant bite, so I'm good with it. So I sold here, and you see my every sell is higher than my previous one, and that's just perfect. I mean, the R is huge. My overall R is 11, which is incredible. We finally got like a nice solid R trade with a full size. So as you can see, I risked $30 and I made $330. That's incredible. That's twice my biggest gain before. That's kind of like ironical because that's exactly twice. Like my previous trade was 165 and then now it's 330. So very solid trade. I mean, yeah, I followed my whole process to a T and had zero. I mean, I don't have emotions. I haven't had any emotions in my trading since like summer, so that's not a problem. But my mindset after this trade, like I was like every day coming after this trade, coming into the open, I was like, I don't need to trade because this literally made my whole month. This trade alone covered my 29 last losses, and if you add the other AUB trade that I had previous week, so that was $100 another. So that's like this trade and that trade. So 2 trades on ABB this month covered my last 40 losses, 40. So that's crazy. So yeah, I was just like super patient after this trade. I was like, now I just need to wait for my setup. I don't need to do anything else like usual. So it's a solid trade, best trade. I mean, next trade was on GONR. So it wasn't probably A plus, but it was still like on the daily. It doesn't look good. Here we have 4 Redis, then gap down, but on the 15-minute it was pretty clean. Here we have the downtrend, and then the intraday was also clean. So my plan was to enter at 0.005, risking 48. Then the plan was 58 because of 4R or even more. But unfortunately, it didn't do it. So I sold into the close here. I didn't get filled everything at 52, but still was like a $21 gain. I mean, that's obviously didn't work, but still kind of good to like have a little gain also. And then so I ended my week only 2 trades up like $350, so pretty solid. I mean I literally like done for the month. And other good thing is after ABB I crossed my all-time P&L. So this is, I mean, there's something that I'm like happy about, because that was like you see here, this was when everything changed in July. Like I started to just go on a nice uptrend. Like every time I had like spikes, then was high low. So and finally broke this all-time thing. So pretty solid. And I'm just really happy about it. Hopefully I won't do anything stupid by the end of the year. I mean, probably won't. So yeah. Now let's just go over this a little, not a little, it's gonna be a huge one. This is like the A plus right now in this market. Like I see, I think this is only A plus right now. I mean, I started with ABB, but ABB already happened. So this on the 50-minute looks clean. It's super clean, broke out of this wedge. I thought about entering somewhere here, but I was just like, this was after ABB. And I was like, do I need to force anything? No, I don't. Let me just wait for the confirmation, at least some confirmation because I had very much conviction. I still have that is gonna work because of, I mean, because of all these breakouts that work. You see OWV, first breakout, second breakout, third breakout. I mean, this one from the few weeks ago had this nice breakout percentage wise. And then we have AV obviously also worked. There are any other ones? Maybe this one, but Sapeni, but also. So XXA just prime this like very nice solid bull flag here. And I remember watching this on this breakout, and I was telling it it's too early, and now it's like perfect that wedge. And so I waited for my little confirmation, and I entered here. I got a starter here at 61 average. I have very small position, but my risk is 56, and I'll explain it on the intraday. But I think the best risk is obviously 5. But I mean, if I get a size with 5 risk, that's gonna be, because that's, imagine 6 plus entry risking 5. That's like 15% risk. So I mean, that's just too much, too wide. You're gonna have a very small position, dollar position. So I entered here on this kind of a trigger here on the dip after at 6. Risking 56. This is a green red, and it had this bounce that bounced off this drop. Then I added another at 63, because 63 looked like another kind of a level here, right here. So I added there, and I have 6,000 shares, 61 average, risking, so this is $30 risk. And the good thing, the best thing ever, they released PR, not even PR, just the news on their Twitter 5 minutes before the close, and we see this volume came right away. We broke the 60, 30, 35 level, which was kind of a hidden size there. So we broke it, and then they released actual PR after hours. So I think it's gonna gap, but I hope it doesn't gap that much, because I want to add this, like this 0.0666 is the next level I want to add above, because this is the next high. So I don't want to gap it that much, because I still want to have an average before 7, and my plan is going to be just to swing for this big picture breakout. I'm not going to sell before like everything, because that's then not a breakout if you sell before the breakout, like unless it fails, you know. So yeah, this is a very solid. Still have a small dollar size, but obviously I will look to add. And yeah, so So yeah, this was my, I mean, I said already it was my best week ever. Next week, I just, I mean, already said, I just don't want to do anything stupid. Just gonna end the year very good. Like that XSA, it just the only A plus right now. So I'm just gonna focus on that only. If it's the only setup that, if it's the only stock that will run, then whatever, it's even better for me. I'm not gonna focus too much on other things. So yeah, I mean, ABB was exactly exactly was because I just followed my process and didn't force anything else. Like the last week, as you remember, I had three losses, but they were very small. I wasn't like forcing anything out of nowhere, and I just followed my process. And I remember in the chat, I said a very good quote. I said that I just sit on my hands and wait for my prey, and when it comes, I kill it in a very cruel way. And that's exactly what happened with ABB. I waited for my setup. When it came, I killed it. And I that's very funny that every time I go to bed, I just tell myself that tomorrow my setup comes, I'll go very hard on it. Like just, but if it doesn't, I'll do nothing. And every day I go to bed with that. Then I wake up and I'm like, my setup comes, I'm ready. If it doesn't, I'll do nothing because there's no point of trading random setups. So that's exactly what happened, and I'm very proud of it. And I mean, yeah, there's nothing else to talk about. I can just talk about briefly about our yearly recap, what we plan. We don't really have a clean plan yet, but I think since it's going to be like a lot of us, we can obviously go over all of the trades. I will do a recap for myself in my YouTube channel, and I'll link it under that video we will make. So I think best is going to be like talk about one, maybe two best trades for each month, just like for each month, just very briefly, like just the chart and all that, but obviously not a lot of details. And then just the lessons you learned. Well, we will figure it out. Hopefully we'll do it in the next weekend. Yeah. So, I mean, that's it. There's nothing else to talk about. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day and end the year strong. See you.